Hello, everybody, and welcome to a tropical update here. Here is the wide view of the Atlantic right now, and you can see a busy Atlantic here. You can see recently designated tropical depression 17L here. Got a tropical wave behind that just recently came off of Africa. Looks pretty healthy right now. May become our next tropical depression here or named storm here later on down the line. Then after that one, where the National Hurricane Center is looking at another way to come off of Africa here and has another chance of development there. Once that comes off of Africa, like the National Hurricane Center is predicting. So three areas of interest here. We do have another area of interest in Bermuda, near Bermuda, I should say. It also has a decent chance of formation. That area of interest we were watching in the Caribbean not too long ago has a near 0% chance of formation, so that's pretty much going to be gone here in terms of formation chance. So that's good news to hear there. On the far left of your screen, I may be able to make out the last few flare-ups of convection over what used to be Tropical Storm Julio in Eastern Pacific here, and here's a quick look at that on. That's not it. That's not it either. This is what Tropical Storm Julio currently looks like on infrared imagery here. You can see its last little blowups of convection, just away from the center of circulation. They're being sheared, of course. So that's why it's down to a tropical depression storm status here, and forecast by the National Hurricane Center to dissipate fully in about 48 hours from now. And fortunately, not going to be really any threat to anybody except maybe some boaters that may be really close to the system here. Not going to be, of course, a Hurricane Genevieve not too long ago that was in this basin. Definitely not going to be like that, and wasn't like that to begin with here. So fortunately, a really good scenario for the East Pacific there, especially for people along Mexico here that it didn't become any stronger than forecast here for the most part. And here's the forecast cone. That's not the forecast cone. Where is it at? Let me just pull it up here really quick here. This is the forecast cone for Tropical Depression Julio. And like I said, it's forecast to fully dissipate in about 48 hours from now and become, again, not really any threat if there was any for you guys on the Mexico coastline here and the Baja California coastline here, fortunately here. So that's Tropical Depression Julio that formed from the remnants of what used to be Hurricane Nana and the Caribbean not too long ago. That formed from what the remnants of that storm. But here's a look at the Atlantic here. Here's the 5-day outlook right now. Let's take a look at disturbance number. Start with number 1 here, wherever number 1's at. Let's start with number 2 here because they don't have a number 1. I think number 1 is taken up by what's now Tropical Depression 17 here. But you can see disturbance number 2 here has a formation chance of 90% throughout the next 48 hours. Through the next 5 days, also a higher 90% chance of formation. The disturbance behind that one, disturbance number 5, has a near 0% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours. And through the next 5 days, a low 20% chance of formation. The one in the Caribbean has a near 0% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours and 5 days there. Then disturbance number 4, near Bermuda here, has a low 10% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours. And to the next 5 days, a low 30% chance of formation there. And that's the storm. That's the current what's currently going on in the Atlantic here. Here's a look at Tropical Depression 17 here. You saw that a little bit earlier there. It's the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center here as of Sunday, September 6th, 2020, at 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time Advisory number 1. It's currently located at 17.0 degrees north, 41.5 degrees west, moving due west at 5 miles per hour with maximum sustained 1-minute winds estimated to be at 35 miles per hour, making this, of course, a tropical depression force storm. This storm is forecast to peak as a 65 mile per hour tropical storm later on down the line here. And start to gradually weaken from there on out, from what at least the National Hurricane Center is forecasting at this point in time. That can, of course, change here. The forecast can, of course, change. Forecast intensity and forecast direction can, of course, change throughout the next coming days here. Just stay tuned. And, of course, provide the latest updates on the storm. If this storm does get named, it'll be called Tropical Storm Felipe. Not Felipe. It'll be called Tropical Storm Paulette, I mean. What I will say, though, is that if this does become Tropical Storm Paulette, before this pretty much this coming week is over, it'll beat out the old record set by what used to be Hurricane Felipe uh, back in September 2005, and that formed on September 17th, 2005, and of course peaked as a Category 1 hurricane back in 2005, that storm. So if this storm does get named Tropical Depression 17L, if it does get named, it'll of course be called Paulette, and if it does form before about the next 7 days or so, um, it'll beat out the old record set by Hurricane Felipe in 2005, and of course that formed on September 17th, 2005 there. So it'll be another record-breaking system in its own right here again, like we've seen for the past few systems here, and the Atlantic Basin. So that's Tropical Depression 17L. Here's a look at the IR imagery of Tropical Depression 17L here, and it looks a decent looking Tropical Depression. Not, of course, the best looking Tropical Depression there could be, but still a storm that seems to be trying to get its act together here, and some convection trying to fire up around it here, as you can see. So clear indications of this storm trying to get its act together here and further intensified later on down the line here, as you can see using this infrared imagery here. And then quickly, I want to look at what's now Tropical Storm Haishen currently going on. More specific, right now down to a 45 knot system, which is about 50 miles per hour, making it a tropical storm now. It made landfall over South Korea not too long ago here, and now it's racing on off back over water here, and then back eventually probably going to make a landfall over North Korea or rest of there as a lot weaker storm, probably as a tropical depression or post-tropical storm, or a post-tropical storm or extratropical storm by that point in time. But that's pretty much it for this storm. Um, as you can see here, that's IR imagery. This is visible imagery here, and you can pretty much see the same story being told here. If it's not weakening rapidly right now, it's going to be rapidly weakening really soon here, as you can see on the side of the imagery there. There's water vapor imagery of the storm, and you can just see this vast extent of moisture the storm has here. As it goes over and likely makes a landfall, secondary landfall here over North Korea, probably as a tropical depression or a post-tropical or extratropical storm here later on down the line here. And here's the latest forecast cone from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center here. And again, they have it as a 45 knot system, which is about 50 miles per hour, and they forecast it to pretty much dissipate early morning on the 8th of September here as a 30 knot system there, as you can see. And the Japan Meteorological Agency, the JMA, pretty much predict the same thing as well here, for it to pretty much dissipate by around 0 UTC on September 8th there. So they're pretty good agreement on that front there. So in terms of getting latest information on the current tropics here, for localized forecasts, always take a look at the National Weather Service. They're an official government agency for the United States here, and for the country. So get the latest official information here, not hyped or not overblown or not under forecast here. It's by the official government agency here. Just type up nws.noaa.gov, just type up NWS or just weather.gov, as you can see on the top of your screen there. Of course, I have all the links to what sites I used in this video on the bottom on the description here if you guys are curious about that. So that's for the National Weather Service, and of course, this is for localized forecasts here. So like say you live in South Florida, you can click South Florida, it'll take you straight to the Miami forecast office, and it'll have sometimes it'll have forecasts right here. In this case, it doesn't right now, unfortunately, but here's a little map here, and you could say you don't live in Miami, but you live in Homestead. Click on Homestead, and it'll take you straight to a 5-day graphical forecast here and a 7-day text forecast below that. And also has another map here, so you can click on whatever part of Florida you live in or you're at right now. For a localized forecast, or if you don't know that, just type up your zip code or whatever town you're closest to up here, and it'll give you the latest forecast. And then, of course, to have an hourly forecast right here, so you can plan your day out in advance, hour by hour here, if you have anything important to do or anything you want to do that involves being outside and out and about in the elements here. So I believe that's about it for this update here. Like I said, a busy Atlantic right now as we head into the peak part of this hurricane season here. Peak part of the hurricane season is not too far away from us here, less than a week out in advance now. So again, make sure now's the time, if you haven't gone over a hurricane preparedness kit at all, a hurricane preparedness plan, or have a plan of action to take this hurricane season, you should have done so already. We've already had pretty significant hurricanes already impact the United States here. Of course, we had Hurricane Hannah, we had Hurricane Isaias, and then most recently we had Category 4 Hurricane Laura make landfall in Louisiana. So if you haven't gone over your hurricane preparedness kit or a hurricane plan, um, make sure, of course, to go over that. You have a plan of action to either get out of your area if you get threatened by a hurricane, a tropical storm, or to shelter in place. And listen to your local officials there. So just make sure listen to your local officials that tell you to evacuate. If the situation does arise for your area, we have to evacuate or shelter in place for a storm here. And just stay safe, really. Like I said, while we're kind of in this low of U.S. Impacts here from these tropical cyclones at this point in time, at least. Um, Again, just make sure you're ready for the possibility that may arise that we may get hit again as the season progresses here later on down the line as we head into the peak. Like I said, the peak part of this hurricane season. So that's about it for me. Hope everybody has a great day and night, guys. Stay safe, of course. All the links that I use will be in the description. And have a great day and night, guys. Stay safe, of course. Till then, see you guys in the next video. Peace.